How's it going, everybody? Wildman Wes here, and welcome to another edition of Worst State of Movies. Time to get in that airplane and start flying. We're traveling back to the southeast, to the state of Louisiana. Today's movie. This is what I have to say. Sequels, regardless of whatever film genre you look at, can either make or break the whole series. Today's movie is of the horror genre, which I'm very, very familiar with if you haven't noticed already. Today we're going to be looking at Adam Green's 2017 follow-up to the Hatchet series, Victor Crowley. Our movie begins with the original survivor from Hatchet 1, Andrew Young, that is being interviewed at a talk show, whether or not he might have been responsible or if he was the killer in the Honey Island Swamp murders. He denies the whole accusations and talks about his book that was made and wants to clear his name once and for all. Well, as he's doing this, he goes to book signings and people are treating him like he's public enemy number one. And in the midst of all that, there's a group of kids that want to make a film based off of the whole incident. And when they're about to talk to him about it, his publicist tells him that he's got $1 million deal to go and do a TV show back at Honey Island Swamp to show everything that he experienced to clear his name. As the small film crew makes its way down to Honey Island Swamp, Andrew and the whole crew of the TV people and his publicist get on a plane and fly down, and unfortunately, there's an issue with their plane where they crash, and some of them survive, some of them don't. And they have to figure out how they're going to escape this plane crash. And I need to backtrack because, you know, when it comes to making a movie based off these actual events, the backstory about Victor Crowley from the Hatchet series was he was a disfigured young boy and kids were picking on him and he got burned up into more disfigurement, and he torments people down in the swamps with a hatchet and many other stabby implements. Yeah, we're just going to go with that. And the fact that Andrew knows what Victor Crowley's MO is if he comes back from the dead, nobody believes him. They still treat him like he's still the one who killed everybody. And eventually, this film crew finds this voodoo incantation that can rise him back from the grave. And they do. And Victor Crowley comes back with a vengeance, once again slaughtering people one by one by one. The film crew, the people that are involved with this TV show, and Andrew still has to figure out how to dispel this evil. They eventually do by just having him shoved through one of the engines of the plane. And that's it. That's the movie. I wish I could give you more, but I can't. This was just... Oof. Alright, it's time to talk about what I like and what I don't like about this film. What I like about this film is going to be very short. The cast, Kane Hodder, playing Victor Crowley, Jason himself, does what he can behind the special effects makeup and whatnot. And I always appreciate everything that he does on camera. Perry Shaw coming back as Andrew Young, I do appreciate some of the humor that he brings to his character, as well as the torment that he has to face throughout. We also have Felissa Rose from the Sleepaway Camp franchise, playing Andrew's drugged-out publicist. I'm not going to mince any words on it. She is on every pill known to man in this movie, and her death, let's just say, if you're going to watch this movie for anything, watch Felissa Rose's death. You'll be glad you did at the moment, and then you're going to look back and go, Wes, I hate you. An honorable mention from the cast, we have Q from Impractical Jokers, and he plays a character, part of the TV crew, and he has a wife on this plane crash that unfortunately is with child, with his unborn child, and she doesn't make it. And that's where we're going to get into what I don't like about this film. This film, as much as I do appreciate in horror films isolation, there's too much of them being in this plane, and you have to worry. You sit there wondering, are they going to get taken out by Victor Crowley while they're in the plane, or are they going to run and escape? But you don't think about that for over half the film. You worry about this woman who's trapped in the broken down plane as water is rising, being pregnant. And you sit there going, is this a horror film or a morality tale? But then again, in most horror films, they're morality tales anyways, right? Oh, we're getting a double dose in this one, folks. Apart from the morality tales in this film, there's a lot of outdated jokes and substance abuse jokes that just eventually you sit there going, you know, is this supposed to be a horror film or is this supposed to be a comedy? Most of the movies in Adam Green's Hatchet series do delve into that dark comedy nature. However, this one, it didn't feel very funny. It just felt really sad. And even when they made nods about YouTube in this film, going, oh, did they just watch these videos off of YouTube or something? It's funny to a degree, but at the same time, it becomes that social commentary of, is this what we've become? Do we just sit around watching videos on social media? What am I doing with my life? Why am I filming all this? Why am I asking you? You're watching it. I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face on that. That was just, I couldn't, I'm sorry. I find it very, very funny that they wanted to make all these jokes. And not necessarily because I thought that they were funny. It was more of that facepalm funny of, my gosh, they're poking the finger at me now, and I have to sit here in judgment while I watch this movie that I'm not necessarily fond of just because of how dry it really is. Then again, the special effects when it came to people being taken out was not bad. However, I feel that they gave a lot of the special effects from the first 3 movies prior to this more justice. This one, Felissa Rose's death and Q's death in this movie definitely were the highlights. A lot of the other stuff was just very tame. And keep in mind, if you don't know what I'm talking about, and if you've never seen the Hatchet films, go back and watch the original from 2007. Especially if you check out the Red Band trailer. Some of the scenes in that movie, you're going to sit there and go, oh my gosh. And then you look at this film and go, just like Wes, they kind of phoned this one in, didn't they? All right, enough stalling, enough chit-chat. Time to grade this film. When it comes to rewatchability, I might decide to watch it one more time, mostly to show it to somebody else so they can feel my pain of when I watched it, especially Felissa Rose's death, her pain. I keep bringing this up, but you need to see it because it is freaking hilarious. However, that being said, that can't make or break a film alone. You have to go on the entire story, acting, and whatnot. And unfortunately, Kane Hodder, please don't come after me, but Victor Crowley, as you can tell, I really hate giving bad grades to horror films. Well, we hope you at least appreciated this review of Victor Crowley. If you've seen this movie and you agree with me, leave a thumbs up. And if you don't agree with me, I understand. This is one of those horror movies that's not for everyone, and unfortunately it wasn't for me. Other than that, make sure you share on social media, push that little red button, and ring the bell for instant notifications. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and we'll hopefully see you next time for Worst State of Movies. Oh man, I'm getting worn out, folks. I really am.